Part 76, Sacred Knowledge and Human Ignorance. Maybe many will get angry if they carefully listen to this saying of spiritual energies, and maybe they won't if they recognize the truth. And the truth is the guide that can quickly lead out of the labyrinth of illusions that have been circulating the planet for thousands of years. Then listen to something that you may not have heard but felt, that there is another explanation for many phenomena that surround the human race. On planet Earth, the human race has reached a stage where there have been extremely many divisions, based on religion, belief, race, learning, commitment, language, material status, level of education, and much more. These divisions created numerous generators of negative thoughts that damaged the auras of people as well as the aura of planet Earth. And then everyone should ask themselves, where lies the cause of all these divisions and generators of negative thoughts that multiply day by day, year by year? First of all, human knowledge as something originally does not exist, and if it does exist, it exists in minimal amounts. The real word for what most people apply is called human ignorance. Why? Because human ignorance is full of limitations and shortcomings, which affect all aspects of man, flora and fauna. Of course, the greater human education with higher degrees, the deeper and more destructive is human ignorance. We can enumerate some fragments of examples from the infinite number of creations of human ignorance. People create creations for the production of energy on the planet, which on the one hand really create energy, and on the other hand create far-reaching problems and pollution for which human ignorance has no solutions. An example is nuclear power plants around the world that produce electricity for a country, and after storing radioactive waste, they come up with various storage methods, none of which represent safety for the living world in the long run. But there are also sudden situations that happened and were disclosed, such as Fukushima and Chernobyl. And what about all the accidents that never made it to the public? The damage that was created after the accident and the tsunami is enormous, and the consequences will not be repaired for hundreds of years. While, on the one hand, Germany is closing down nuclear facilities based on previous experience, other countries are rapidly building new ones without thinking about the numerous consequences that may occur. Who created those nuclear facilities that do not have a bright future for humanity? Precisely people with higher education, higher status and titles and knowledge whose sources originate from human ignorance. We have many attempts by so-called scientists who are trying to change the climate, food, water, atmosphere, solar benefits, and human immunity. Human ignorance has brought today's planet to the point where everything natural is ignored and everything artificially made and created is presented as an achievement with the help of human knowledge. We will not talk about the consequences that are already present and those for all future generations, because such a saying would be hundreds of hours. The human race is interested in other forms and possibilities of life on other planets without ever getting to know their own planet, but destroying it step by step precisely thanks to the application of human ignorance. Where did such a large amount of creations based on human ignorance come from? The main reason is represented by interests in all forms, of individuals, groups as well as entire systems. And right now we have a planet with a damaged aura, a planet full of polluted rivers, lakes, seas and oceans, food full of all kinds of pesticides with altered and modified structures, a huge increase in the number of new diseases that are accompanied by new medicines, a huge number of plant and animal species which are threatened with extinction, and finally climate change, which is a direct consequence of the wrong way of thinking and the application of human ignorance. We could list for years and decades all the creations of human ignorance that were created primarily on the basis of some assessment of interests. And then we come back to the topic, the difference between sacred knowledge and human ignorance. Sacred knowledge is knowledge, information and directions from the superintelligent energies of the cosmos that can offer creations that serve exclusively for the benefit of the planet and all living beings on it, without any interests in side effects or consequences. And everything else that we have not mentioned here, you can listen to in the previous 75 parts of the alphabet of spirituality. The true definition of human knowledge reads, human knowledge is corrected human ignorance with the help of sacred knowledge. Human knowledge will be able to be defined as such one day, when the human race globally changes its way of thinking and harmonizes its thoughts with the will of the Creator and sets out on the paths of highly developed civilizations. If someone doubts the veracity of this story, it is recommended to listen to this video several times and underline the parts that are not true. The Treasury of Sacred Knowledge is grateful for your interest and sends you a lot of spiritual patience and love.